Rock of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON listeners, good morning. Dedicating this program today to Purvis Spann, the blues man and pioneer of WVON radio here in Chicago. I was once lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. We are dedicating this program today to WVON broadcast pioneer Purvis Spann and honoring his great daughter, Melody Spann Cooper, who is carrying on his legacy. For those of you who don't know, Tuesday, March 22nd, at Leake and Sons Funeral Services on 78th and Cottage Grove, there will be a wake between 4 and 7. That is tomorrow between 4 and 7 at Leake and Sons. And on Wednesday, the 23rd of March at Apostolic Church of God at 6320 South Dorchester. Turn that up, Titus. It's Amazing Grace, and he was an amazing man. Tomorrow at Apostolic Church of God, 6320 South Dorchester Avenue, there will be a wake at 10:30, followed by a funeral at noon. Private burial at Oakwood Cemetery, and services will air live on WVON and stream on VON.TV. So, WVON Radio is honoring the passing of its President Emeritus, Purvis Spann, co-founder of Midway Broadcasting Corporation, the station's parent company. He was 89. He died following a lengthy battle with Alzheimer's. Spann's broadcast career spanned more than 60 years. In 1963, he became the second disc jockey hired by Leonard Chess, who founded the legendary WVON radio station that you're listening to today that same year. Spann reigned as the most listened to disc jockey overnights in Chicago for more than 10 years. Because of his love for blues music, he became known throughout the broadcast industry as the Blues Man, known globally as the person who crowned Aretha Franklin Queen of Soul and B.B. King the King of Blues. Spann was also a successful concert promoter and radio station owner, acquiring stations in Jacksonville, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Memphis, Tennessee. However, it was on this station, WVON Radio in Chicago, where he built his incomparable broadcast career. Purvis is survived by his wife of 67 years, Lovey Spann, and 4 children, including the radio executive of this program, Melody Spann Cooper. So, you can either go to the wake tomorrow at Leake and Sons between 4 and 7, or you can show your respect and honor for this great legend and pioneer in the African American community on Wednesday morning at Apostolic Church at 6320 South Dorchester. An amazing person, an amazing life, an amazing wife, and an amazing family. God bless you, Purvis. Looking down on us here. We're carrying on here this morning with Black Houses Matter, and I'm here with Maurice Torrance, like the street.
Like the street. Good morning, Chicago.
Morning, Chicago. Maurice is my sidekick. We want you to call 773-591-1690. That's the inside number here on VON. This is Black Houses Matter. We are up to $113,326,073 in the African American community. Hey!
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, and in the Hispanic community, $57 million. Can you imagine, in this time of COVID, returning to the taxpayers of this county of Cook over $157 million just to minorities? We're killing it, killing it, killing it. I said that yesterday. I had my 5-year-old grandson with me. And I said to my husband, I said, you know, we're killing it. And the 5-year-old looked at me and said, who's killing who? I'm like, we got to be careful what we say around here from now on.
Definitely sounds like something my son would say. He sounds like something exactly my son would say.
Man, you got to be careful everything that you say. Yeah. So get this. Vanderbilt University has 9,000 employees, 9,000 employees. And you know what they're doing? They're giving everyone who worked during COVID, and they all worked during COVID, a $1,500 bonus. I thought that was sweet.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's honestly amazing.
Yeah, I gave bigger raises than that to my people who came in every day. There was a small group that came in every day during COVID because we had things to process. So now, for those who are paralyzed, and I always find this interesting because we come up with very different ways to handle medical problems. By the way, take a good look if you can on Facebook Live. I have an Ohana sweatshirt on with a weird-looking caricature
Lilo
on the
and
front.
Stitch. Lilo and Stitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid.
Is this one of your favorite
It
movies?
was one of my favorite movies. You know.
Yeah, I love sweatshirts with crazy characters on the
Ohana
front.
means family.
Ohana means family?
Ohana means that was one of the themes of the movie. Ohana means family.
You see how dated I am? I buy the sweatshirt because I like the character on the front of it. Maurice knows what it means. Hello, Chicago. Get this for people who are paralyzed. Paralyzed, quadriplegic. That means hands paralyzed, paralyzed below the waist. They have figured out how to connect a device between the tongue and the head that allows paralyzed patients to operate no less than an iPhone right into a wheelchair. That is shocking to me.
That's amazing. That's amazing for what it could mean in the future. Maybe they'll be able to get, I don't know. I like to think forward. You know, something like, what if they can get like actual biomechanical legs or something like that to actually get them back on their feet and walking.
You know, I live across the street from Northwestern Hospital, and there is a helicopter pad on top of the Children's Hospital. And all night long, a couple times a night, they are flying children in on helicopters with their parents from every place in the country. And these kids are really, really sick. And so if you hear this helicopter and I wake up in the middle of the night, I got to tell you, it's really moving. But next door to that is the Rehabilitation Center of Chicago. I think Kennedy's father went there. But you can get over there if you aren't in touch with what's really going on in the world and just sitting around worrying about COVID and getting shot and whether or not there's a war and being a really miserably depressed person, get up and go walk over to the Rehab Institute now that the weather's better here in Chicago and see people out trying to rehab who have been maimed and paralyzed. It's quite moving. So between these two buildings, I got to tell you, seeing these kids coming in on the helicopters and the parents getting off these helicopters and carrying these, it's quite moving. It's quite moving. Stay humanized. Quit bitching and complaining about your life and do something. Be human about what's happening to others.
Exactly.
The grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah. All right here. So these are twins in England, who were born after 5 months. So the mother who had gone through IV therapy for 11 years finally has these two kids. And the doctor tells her, you're going to abort both, you're going to lose both. And she said, no, I'm not going to lose both because they're both moving. And sure enough, they were born and they were both moving. And they kept these kids in the ICU for another 5 months, and they're perfectly fine. It's the first time ever that two 5-month-old kids made it to 9 months outside the mother's womb.
Incredible.
So, yeah. Oh.
I couldn't even imagine. That must have been the hardest 5 months of her life.
I mean, to go there every day. In the article, she went there every day, and they tell her every day, we don't think these kids are going to live. I mean, she was making funeral arrangements for the kids, and then they come out, and they're fine. So I think that this whole, I mentioned the 3 tragic things everybody's dealing with, getting shot, COVID, the war, hello. The Polish people are putting strollers, toys, and diapers at the border for the mothers who are crossing. There are 2.5 million people who have fled Ukraine and moved to other European countries. And I just think that's amazing and remarkable.
Yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need it. Because when you're trying to run from that scenario, you're not thinking about grabbing everything. You're just thinking about grabbing what you can grab right then and there and getting out. So just even
I wouldn't be
having not to
grabbing
worry about
anything.
that.
I'd be getting out. I'm out
You're
here.
gonna be grabbing your running shoes, huh?
Yeah, I'll get my running shoes, something. Yeah, get a bike and get going. Right.
No, that's amazing though.
Yeah, so Maurice is going to tell us a little bit about the tax sale schedule. The tax sale schedule. First of all, Maurice, tell them we have 2 callers this morning, but don't forget to call 773-591-1690. That is our inside number here. That is our inside number. And what we're going to be able to do is tell you whether or not you've got any money coming back. But Maurice is going to explain to you exactly what the tax sale is. So shout it out, Maurice.
So we have coming up, if you guys might have heard us mention it, the 2019 annual sale. Yes, we just ended the scavenger sale, but the 2019 annual sale is coming up. It will be starting May 12th through the 17th. So May 12th. So what's that? Less than 2 months. The 2019 annual sale is going to start this Friday. This Friday is when registration opens up. So for people who are interested in becoming and being registered for the 19 annual sale, and yes, you have to be registered for the tax sale to participate in the tax sale. Registration opens this Friday. It opens this Friday and it's going through May 2nd. So this Friday, the 25th through May 2nd, that's when the registration period is open. Everything is online, so you don't have to come in or anything like that. Everything you need to know is online. If you don't have a computer, we will have computers set up at the back counter of tax sale. We can come in and register and everything. So please, if you're interested, read through the rules and regulations.
On cookcountytreasure.com, there is also a list of the 44,000 properties countywide, 21,981 in the city and 22,000 in the suburbs. A heads up here, guys. I will not be here next Monday. I am having my second knee surgery on my right knee. I have successfully completed the left knee. And 3 months later, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get this one done. And I am going to be up and running in May and out and about and causing trouble and making a fuss. So if I can do the program from the rehab center, I will call in. Otherwise, Maurice, Michael Lee, Sean Johnson,
David Gordon, OG Gordon.
And David Gordon in his bow tie, the office mascot, will be carrying on this program for me. I'm giving you a heads up because in the past, Willie Wilson and Richard Boykin have come in and set up a program on Willie Wilson's website to assist people with those taxes. So, Maurice and company and the other 3 people that I mentioned, Sean, Michael, and David, will advise you next week whether or not they are going to be assisting with the payment of taxes. And let me tell you what that's about. Of this 44,000, 21,000 people countywide owe less than $1,000, okay? And 9,000 of those have returned mail, the ones who owe less than 1,000. So what we are doing, and a lot of these are in African-American neighborhoods. Roderick Sawyer has 1,600. Anthony Beal has 1,300. Stephanie Coleman has 2,200. Jeanette Taylor has 1,500. Carrie Austin has 2,100. And get this, on the lakefront, Maria Hayden has 66. Michelle Smith has 75. Tom Tenney, the owner of Ann Sathers, has 49. So there is a discrepancy here between minority neighborhoods and white neighborhoods. And that's what Black Houses Matters is about. We are about getting people off this tax sale list and making them functional. Now, let's just add here that this is not just a city of Chicago problem. As I mentioned, there's 44,000 pieces, half in the city, half in the suburbs. Get this. Calumet City has 1,000, all right? Fort Heights has 675. Markham has 1,000. Get this, Harvey has 4,600 delinquent pins on the tax sale list. But if you go to the north side, Glencoe has 6. McCook has 2. Morton Grove has 46. North Riverside has 13. Discrepancy again between African American and white neighborhoods. So we are trying to clear up these disparities. So hopefully Willie and Boykin have done this in the past. They are going to put a program together, and you will be hearing about it just as you are listening to the program about the gas giveaway. We are dedicating this program this day to Purvis Spann, the blues man of Chicago, waking tomorrow between 4 and 7 at Leek & Sons, and funeral at Apostolic Church of God at 10:30, wake and funeral at noon on Wednesday. Honor the people who have made this a great town. Honor the people who've made this a great town. And the communications industry has made it possible for African Americans to listen and hear a point of view unheard anywhere else in the city of Chicago other than on WVON. So many thanks to his daughter Melody for carrying on that legacy. We have a caller on the line. Namyanka Triplet, guest number 1 from Oak Lawn, who was on last week. Hey, sweetheart, you on again?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
How you
Good
doing?
afternoon. Well, good morning. We have a few more minutes.
Yeah, so we talked last week about your exemptions, and you're quite young, right? You're pretty young.
Yeah.
How old are you? You tell everybody on
36.
WV.
I'm 36 years old.
She's 36, and she had a tragedy in her family. Her husband, who's a gymnast, fell paralyzed a few years ago. Am I correct?
Yes, 11 years ago, actually.
And you have a son.
Yes, we do. A 12-year-old.
Who's just tied to the hip of your husband is an A student, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So what we found was that she had not gotten any homeowners exemptions for 4 years, right?
Right, correct.
And how did you find this out?
I was calling in to ask a question, and I talked to a Mr. Gordon, and I was just trying to figure out a few more things and ask more questions. And we got to the homeowners exemption, and he's like, "You've never applied for homeowners exemption?" And I'm like, I had no idea. And so he broke it down to me, and he walked me through what site to apply for it. And then the next thing you know, I got a call from Mr. Maurice Torrance, and he's like, "Hey, you would like that?" And they sent someone out from the treasurer's office to actually sit down and help me fill out the information and get everything in. So it was.
Did anybody come out this week on the disabled exemption?
Yes, they did.
Okay, who
Mr.
came
Manny
out?
Came out.
Manny?
Manny.
Yeah, Manny. I'll tell you, he's never in the office. He's always out knocking on people's doors.
Yes, and he's so great. He's very, very nice man. And he came over again, and he was so patient and explained everything to me and helped me fill out everything. And yeah.
And you got your doctor's note, right?
Paperwork.
You got your doctor's
he
note.
did.
And it's 100% disability, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. He is paralyzed from the chest down.
So last week when we talked to you, before we found out about the disability exemption, how much did you think you were going to get, Nyanka?
Well, I wasn't sure, but I know I had got a mention about $2,000 for the homeowners exemption.
Right. But this, WVON listeners, listen up. Purvis Spann would be absolutely delighted to know and listening to what's going on this program now. Here's an African-American woman, 36 years old. Her husband goes paralyzed, all right? She's raising her kid, her 11-year-old, on her own, okay? What are we doing for her? She not only missed $2,000 worth of homeowners exemptions. You have to live in the house for over a year. You don't have to be over 65. You can be any age. You just have to have lived in that house for a year. But when her husband's paralyzed disability exemption kicks in, what do you think the total amount of your savings is going to be here, Miss Triplet?
I don't know. I think it may add a few hundred more.
A few hundred?
A few hundred. Huh?
Yeah.
How about $6,175.27?
Cha-ching.
Oh, my gosh.
OMG!
Oh, wow.
Because what happens in the disabled exemption, what happens to the property tax bill, Maurice?
Well, so when you have a disability exemption, it actually changes the actual equalized assessed value. So it changes the
Nobody
actual
knows
value.
what an equalized assessed value is. What does that mean? What does that
It
mean,
changes
Maurice?
the actual rate.
Speak
So
English.
Exactly. So it lowers the actual amount of taxes that you have due. So it changes between, if you're between 30 to 49%, it's 2,500 reduction. If you're between 50 to, I believe, 70% or 75%, then it lowers it to 5,000 EAV reduction. And if you're over that 75% disability, then you get a $250,000 EAV, which for most people cancels out most of their taxes. So yes, if you are on disability, please explore the possibility of receiving the disabled person exemption, because so many people out there like Namyanka didn't know about this exemption.
This is why this program is so effective. We're up to, I mean, this is like a half-hour program on WVON. We should have a whole day. We're $113 million because of this program. We're giving back in the African-American community. I mean, this is amazing. But what's even more amazing is we're taking the opportunity to educate people about, and we're going to repeat this, Get to cookcountytreasure.com, either on your iPhone, on your home computer, or your iPad, or your Samsung. See this? For those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, this is our website, cookcountytreasure.com. You get to this little purple box in the middle, and what do you do once you get there, Maurice?
You click it. That's all you got to do.
Click.
Super
Click,
easy.
click,
Barely an
click.
inconvenience.
And then what
click
happens?
it and do it. So after you click it, enter your information. If you don't know your PIN number,
Wait.
that's fine.
They don't know what enter your information means.
Yeah.
You click on it, and what's going to show up? Blank boxes, and you do what?
Enter your address.
And do not put north, south, east, or west in, because if you do, it's not going to move.
Yep, it's going to throw it off. So you don't need anything. It's super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Put in the information for you, your mom, dad, aunt, uncle. Put it in.
You can do it for anybody. Okay, so now
Exactly.
you got the address in. You punch enter on your website. What do you see next?
And Stretcher, our IT department is so amazing that they made this easy to view for anybody. So pretty much you see all the information that you need for your actual
But you
property.
know you're in the right place because you see a picture of the house,
Exactly.
the lot, or the commercial piece of property.
Exactly. You see
Now
the
you know
picture,
you're in the right place.
You see the picture, you're able to see the tax bills, you're able to see if there's any exemptions missing, any refunds missing, you're able to see it all. All you got to do is click that purple box, enter the information, and you're good to go.
Okay, so now WVON listeners, listen up. You call your kids or somebody on the block or go to church and have them do it for you if you don't have a computer. Or you can call 773-591-1690. Give us your address if you're disabled or a senior. We'll send someone out. We also have an office at St. Sabina on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The hours are between
9 to 5. So between 9 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays at St. Sabina.
We've got someone stationed at St. Sabina if you want to go over there because you can't even get to a phone. We have someone stationed there, and that's going well for people who don't have computers. But on this site at cookcountytreasure.com, if you scroll down, there is a box which tells you, going back 4 years, if you got a homeowners, a seniors, or a senior freeze. And if you're missing all of those for 4 years, it's almost a total of how much?
At least $1,500. At least $1,500, because the homeowner, again, I know we already mentioned it, Treasurer, but the homeowner, you own the property, you live there, that's at least $500. And if you're a senior, if you're over 65 years old, that's another at least $500. And if you're a senior who's making under $65,000, that's at least another $500.
Okay, so for 4 years, it's $6,000, and we got a lot of seniors who got the $6,000 back, who made up this $113 million.
Absolutely.
Now let's go back to Ms. Triplett. Yeah, hello, you still on the line?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
We went off on the tangent.
So
there.
now that
Just
we
in this info.
so I'm just giving info. We need you to give it to everybody. So look, here you are, and you're sitting there. Where are you working?
I'm stay-at-home momming right now because our schedule is so hectic.
It's so hectic trying to take care of him. So somebody landing $6,000 incidentally tax-free into your pocket is a huge deal. Am I correct?
Absolutely, yes, it is.
What do
Very
you-
huge deal.
What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with this money now?
Well, you know what? Of course, I'm going to save some of it. My son is in travel baseball, and it's pretty expensive.
Wait. What's travel baseball?
So he actually travels with the team to play baseball. He's really good.
Where does he travel
and
to?
so Different places, as far as Wisconsin, Iowa, Texas, Ohio, wherever the tournaments are that we're in, we go there to play.
You go with them?
Really, really good. Yes, I do.
Huh? They need a chaperone. I need to get out of here. Let me tell you, I need to get out of here. I could handle being a travel baseball mom. Doing nothing. Nobody know who I am. Just riding out on a bus, eating popcorn, watching kids play games. That would be it'd be better than going to my office every day.
I don't know if you want to be on the field as long as we are. Some days.
How long are you on the field?
Sundown.
How
it just depends. Sometimes they have as many as 3 games in a day. So we can be out there all day.
So your son inherited your husband's athletic ability.
Yes.
He certainly didn't get it from you.
Well,
You're just a stay-at-home mom, right? You exercise?
Well, right now, yes.
You
but
exercise?
How me and my husband met, we were both pretty athletic.
Do you exercise?
I do. I'm actually headed to the gym in a minute.
Oh, God bless you. We got to turn this. Yeah. Titus is over here making faces and doing hand motions and telling us we gotta get off this station now. But I want to thank you for calling, and I am so excited. If you get a chance, stop by 118 North Clark. You baseball traveling mom. I want to see what a baseball traveling mom looks like. Yeah, and say hello to us. And Maurice, Mike, Sean, and David Gordon are at the counter there. If you want to talk to him, we'll get Manny to come down. So we're playing Amazing Grace. Turn it up. Titus, Amazing Grace this morning in honor of Purvis Spann, the blues man of Chicago. Funeral arrangements tomorrow, 4 to 7 at Leak. And Wednesday morning, waking at 10:30 at Apostolic Church of God. Funeral at noon, private burial at Oakwood Cemetery. Our esteemed and condolences to the entire family and Lovey Spann, the wife of 67 years and mother of 4 children. Melody, I sent a book to the Botanic Gardens up there in Highland Park. When things quiet down, it's got your dad's name on it. You can go up there and read it and be quiet. And remember that there's no one in the whole world that will ever love you like your daddy. We're signing off here on WVON. I'm going for my knee surgery next week, and I will see you back here in a couple of weeks. I will be stomping and romping. Love you guys. Hello to Purvis Spann, who's listening to WVON this morning.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Government was ultimately accountable to the people, from whom all political power derives. Article 3, as you know, vests the Supreme Court and inferior courts with the judicial power.